Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. True Ali is happy when Moors are happy. Vixens wink fake lashes trying to trap me. 40 days and nights battling the lower demons. This is not their land, hybrids can't be freemen. If this is not their land, who's the immigrant thinking they're sovereign? Imagination figment, recessive is their status, lacking pigment. A game for the Thanksgiving, but no commitment to indigenous Moors they conquered with Bibles, signs in the vitals and signs in the cycles, only to strangle, embracing my rivals. Free national standards, not playing with the tribals. Each Moor is their own Christ, not disciples. Whether hands or thoughts, no worshiping idols. Always carry my Moorish Quran, no recitals. Everyone will not process ancients' arrivals. Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Innate mystic ability to show and prove a lesson, coupled with the agility to move you with the message, presence of divine mind to navigate you with a reference, urgent with a purpose, perfect. Emergent urban legends, real Moors, not a question or a choice or a preference. You are who you are, you should have the same obsession. Broke the same jewels to a dude, the corner Jane and Western. What you reppin', all that effort, that direction keep you separate in a world of blind sheep. I was born to be a shepherd, mind like an elephant. Got the paws of a leopard, means I'm wise and I'm strong. Crank you up like I'm a record, take you to the body shop. Correct your lines to true vector manifestations. Matter, energy, and mind, spirit men unsung. Trey Young dropping dimes until you tighten up. You catching splinters from the pine. Clean the clouds out your thoughts, that's what keep you in the bind.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. Yeah. Operation Rapper Inquisition. Still here. Operation Rapper Inquisition. All the gods and goddesses. Iron Sheet. Hip hop lives, yo. The deaf won't hear and the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of Drew Ali. Inepts indirectly, Boo Ali, one of the names of the prophets internationally. Drew said Moors proclaiming nationality, cause you're not Ethiopian or NBC. So he founded America's MST in 28. Me saying that it will cause debates are needed to clear up the mess. But most debate so they can big up their chest to prove what they know and what they can do. Recreating the wheel that was created by Drew. When you know the truth, many debate, but few humble themselves and suppress the jungle itself. Do them, I just do me, keeping my gold while they trade in their jewelry. Ties to Rick and nature-based schooled me. You fool me in your dreams, dirty Moors think they can mule me truly. Who's the real Drew? Me and we. I see more their religion is my mental degree, and where everybody's supposed to be. If not, I guess that's not where you're supposed to be. Hopefully Drew Ali will be seen openly and realize NBC is something you can be. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of Drew Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. It seems unconscious Moors love the semblance of identity and having no remembrance of the Moorish past, no resemblance of the ancestral land inheritance. Love being the children, not the parents. To do any activity asking for clearance. Their minds like crystal, nothing but clearance. Everyone can progress in their land, the heirs can't. It's your status. Stop blaming racists who bleed just like you if you shank their faces. You Moors flew here in pyramid spaceships, and they use that as an emblem on their aprons, and can't be free if not Moorish Masons. Black or more Europeans are not Caucasians, coming to the new world to civilize pagans. With boats and harbors from mosques on hills, we sending in agents. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali.
We transcend and ascend in this. It's a journey, just like the Moors traveling. Worlds upon worlds that's found within. It gotta touch you as we exhale. Past all distorted truths and the lies they tell to keep y'all from drinking at the well. Divine love, that's the fountain of youth. Sun peep it, this is the alchemist's secret. Restoring true unity, resurrecting our community. So every day awake to fight, though it's hard, it's rest guard. In every demonstration, I'm penetrating to the depths of the mind. A noble chief, well kept and refined. You're feeling this, bright like the star Sirius. This musician is the son of man. I look within, Drew Ali on the canvas of my soul to replenish the whole, replacing the old is critical, reaching to the pinnacle. Native and original MC that's relevant, and the style is intelligent, but I keep it interesting. Dropping true math in the cipher if you enter in. The law is the center, so study yourself and be renewed. That's elevation, restoration through contemplation and meditation. Now the soul's navigating, manifesting art creation. The room of this mic, utilizing the light on the path. My body is an astro lab. I take the right actions, and my compass is compassion for internal alchemy.
The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali. The deaf won't hear, the blind won't see the hidden message in the words of True Ali.
Canaanland storming, hit him with a hit. Oh, hit him with a hit, hit him with a hit. To listen with your lips. We the North American, red, green, pink for Pelican. Deep beat, like horns get no breaks. Filled with all Mexican.
Moors can't be from Canada. Canada's a corpse. Canada's a dry drink. Canada's a Supreme Court. Can't be United Statesian, so you can't be Canadian. Moors are indigenous, not immigrant or alien. Canada's a second cup. Canadians won Stanley Cups. Who said Canada is not North America is a dumb f***? Canada is brisky and a Crown Royal whiskey. Moors are not Canadian, but we'll go Bill Bixby. Canada has president's choice, also a prime minister. Canada's the lily white north, but acts so sinister. Canada is guilty of denationalization. Canada is not a country, but a corporation. Canada has Ku Klux. Canada has skinheads. Canada would go below zero, make the darkest brother's skin red. Canada's a moose and a triple fat goose. Moors are not Canadian, cause Canada's a spruce. Canada makes best baseball bats and most lentils. Canada has justice of the peace playing judgmental. Moors are not a product. Canada is so corrupt. Chunks of Africa found under America, so shut the f*** up.
Canaanland storming, hit him with a hit. Oh, hit him with a hit, hit him with a hit. To listen with your lips. We the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat, hunt horns, get no breaks. Filled with all Mexicans, storm and storming, hit it with a hit. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat, horns got no breaks. Filled with all Mexican.
We the North, been here from time before the foreigner drawn lines built to define our boundaries. Naturally, it's family. We built squads, we built tribes to survive, then to thrive. We alive and been living here. His story partial and unclear. More truth appears, we study more. Certainly builds our foundation core. Information is available, most raw. Some is refined, we may find it all. Responding to the call to activate. Standing tall while watching some deflate. Some mistake the facts and some negate the words we use to state and self-debate. Used to make or break documentation. Court cases, proper representation. We're placed in positions to listen. Clocking they emphasizing division. Incisions made on the map surface. Dividing us and ours is a purpose. Now we work this with the info given. Connecting with the others direct to improve living.
Storm and storming, hit him with a hit. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat, hunt horns, get no breaks. Filled with all Mexicans, storm and storming, hit it with a hit. To listen with your lips, we the North Americans, leave the pink for pelicans. Beat, horns got no breaks. Filled with all Mexican epics.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with Moors they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the profit. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma sentence again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge, you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Islam honors to all Moors worldwide. Honors. Welcome. Once again, Q&A Wednesday. A little earlier today, because we got the museum tours going on again. So you can book your Moorish museum tour. It's probably the first ever Moorish museum actually, advertised. So, doing our best to get this word out to the hedges and the highways, as we say. 2530 Eglinton Ave West, either in person or you could get virtual to do the virtual tour. Honors to all those who supported last year. But we're here again. And keep in mind, we're still celebrating 100 years of Moorish Mecca. So keep in tune with what's going on. There's a lot going on. Honors to all Moors worldwide. Let's get right in. We got a few emails. So honors to all the Moors who sent questions. First question. Did all religions and practices, voodoo, hoodoo, paleo, etc., come from Moorish science? You want to look at not necessarily comes from, right? But that all these different practices are of the same Moorish science. Because, you start playing the games with certain people and then they start bringing up different names and now you're trying to say, well, they never called themselves Moors and you start getting into that stuff. So leave the Moorish out, but just show the science and all the science. For example, when we got into Moorish nationality and birthrights, and prior to this, we would be studying Yoruba, because in the black realm, the African spirituality is where you want to be at. You want to be in some religious whatever. You know what I mean? So only when it came to more science, realized that, oh, well, in that, the Orishas, that's the 7 African powers. And you already know the 7 is Moorish. So they don't got to say that they're Moors or whatever like that. With my Moorish mind, I'm looking at it like, oh, so Orishas and all that is Moorish science too. Well, no, you can't say that because African. Okay, well then how come Allah is in Obatala? Why is Allah in there? And then that's like the chief main one, Obatala. And Allah's in there, and then Allah is the main. Come on. Come on. You can't try to make me think that that's not something that I should be gravitating to as well. Because I see more in it. You know, Alakbar. L right there. Where's L in Alakbar? You know, and then how are these Orishas connected to the 7 days of the week, and then the 7 days of the week having spiritual names. This is in the Yoruba, right? And this is the same thing over here. So as you go through all the different schools of thought, all the different doctrines, all the different religions, all the different spiritual practices, all the different hidden occult avenues that people use to learn spirituality, you're going to find our stuff in there too. And once you find it, then it's there. Right? There is no Allah in Abatala. So what's that? What's ALA? What's that? What's ALA? That's not Allah. That's Allah, right? ALA. Right? ALA, Alabama. Right? That's Allah, isn't it? Don't they say Alabama? Alabama. Right? You can't make it up. And then you go check all the Orishas, and all of them are wearing white. Why? Because white means purity. Purity means God. God means ruler of the land. And some of those rulers, some of those Orishas are even rulers of the sea, which is also maritime, which is also Moorish. And they're known as rulers of the sea. Who else were known as the rulers of the sea? Who else? Name them. Name them. Whether you say Ob Atala or Oba Tala, Allah's in there. A-L-A, Allah, Tala. T with Allah in front of it, Tala. It's right there. And everybody knows Islam didn't come from some pale Arabs either. Right? The problem is that, you know, the great debaters want to fight it. Because if more science is in everything, if everything we do our research, something about the Moors is going to pop up in it. No matter what it is, the good, the bad, the ugly, you go look, something with a Moor is going to pop up somewhere. Something's going to pop up with a Moor. Because the Moorish history, the Moorish spirituality, science, it's unavoidable in research. Absolutely unavoidable. Going back again, okay. This is what I was reading today. This wasn't even part of it, but we'll go here. We'll go here just to prove the point. All right. That If you don't see, as soon as you see Moors pop up, Moorish pops up, in whatever it is that you're studying, you must be onto something. If your stuff is popping up in other people's stuff. Right? This is Cymerg.com. Insights from around the world. Independent initiative dedicated to Ismaili Muslims, the Aga Khan, their hereditary imam, and the Ismaili imamat, and Islam in general through literal readings, photo essays, and artistic expressions. Right? So this is what they know. This is what they know. While people want to play games like we don't know what we're talking about. Earlier this century, another noble traveler, Noble Drew Ali, born Timothy Drew, the self-taught son of a former black slaves, took a job as a merchant seaman and found himself in Egypt. According to one legend, Noble Drew Ali traveled around the world before the age of 27 in an effort to discover all that he could about the heritage of his people and the tenets of Islam. It is commonly believed he received a mandate from the King of Morocco to instruct Black Americans in Islam. At the Pyramid of Cheops, he received initiation and took the Muslim name Sharif Abdul Ali. In America, he would be known as Noble Drew Ali. On his return to the United States, quote unquote, in 1913, he founded the Moorish Science Temple to uplift fallen humanity by returning the nationality, divine creed, and culture to persons of Moorish descent in the Western Hemisphere. A charismatic leader, Noble Drew Ali taught that the true origin of Black Americans was Asiatic, and Islam their original religion. The fallen sons and daughters of Asiatic nation of North America, he wrote, need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of the higher self and lower self. Allah, the one true God, has been known by many names, but everywhere his is the causeless cause, the rootless root from which all things have grown. Noble Drew Ali acknowledged Prophet Muhammad as the founder of the reuniting of Islam and the promised one foretold by Jesus. All prophets came with basically the same message, and Islam was the original divine faith to which Muhammad called people to return. Noble Drew Ali laid the foundations of the Islamic movement in the United States, quote unquote. He showed that knowledge of one's identity, oneself, community, and religion is indispensable to a creative life for the individual and community. Noble Drew Ali commented, when we rely upon others to study the secrets of nature and think and act for us, then we have created a life for ourselves, one which is termed hell. Throughout this message, thousands of Black Americans were exposed to Moorish history, culture, religion, as well as the Islamic principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. But his meteoric success brought disaster. Noble Drew Ali died in 1929, in the words of one commentator. Some say from severe police beatings, others say he was assassinated by his rivals in the movement. In his sincerity, the undoubted innocence, Noble Drew Ali met a martyr's end. Now, because we have a Aga Khan museum out here, right? And we've been to Aga Khan, fezzed up, turbaned up, and it's good treatment. There's no issues. They know exactly what's going on with us, knowing who we are. So there's always been, since that interaction with the Aga Khan Museum, there's always been this connection to esoteric Islam, the Islam over there, but not the go to the mosque stuff, the stuff that's outside of that, right? The higher thinking Muslims, right? But the esoteric ones, the esoteric minded ones. And there's no disagreement, there's no arguments about any religion. It's all already in agreement that what this is a science, right? This is not for some type of religious whatever, right? And they acknowledge it and they appreciate that we don't look at it, especially looking at them as, to go to the mosque Muslims, because they're esoteric, right? That was the spot where we went to, and the lady, the elder lady, she was from Turkey or something like that. It's on YouTube. Just go on YouTube, watch Canaanland Moors Aga Khan Museum. And she was talking about her uncle or somebody in her family that wore the fez, and she hasn't seen one since she was a child and all this. She was like 80 something. She hasn't seen a fez since she was a child. She hasn't seen a fez. And she's seen a fez and she's mind blown. She's in Aga Khan Museum seeing some fezzes. This is why I came here today and all this. So when we just, we don't gotta be playing some superior whatever with the Moorish science. You know what I mean? We already know that everything includes it, right? We know that everything includes it. Just go check. I don't care what school of thought it is. They're going to have something in there relative to the Moors. Something, whether it's how they dress, whether it's some food they have, whether it's some type of incense they use, whatever. Something's going to come back to, they found out about that way of the Moors. So we just have to know that it's in everything, right? So we can say, oh, you see more science in whatever you're talking about. You notice more science is mentioned in remember we're the destroyers of arguments, because there's nothing to argue when it comes to when more start talking. There should be no arguments. Because unless there are more too, they don't know what's up. Unless they know and they have a nationality and all that stuff, more likely they'll know what's up. They're just talking. They're just talking emotion. They're not going to be dealing with facts. In chapter 7 of the Moorish Quran, Jesus says, truth is the only thing that changes not. How does this statement reflect the eternal nature of divine law in Moorish teachings. Now again, the idea of in Moorish teachings is like that needs some type of validation or something like that. Right? Truth is the only thing that changes not. So take something that's true. Take a personal experience that's true. That you know for yourself that this is true. Nobody can tell me that this is not true. That thing doesn't change, does it? So if we take that as a principle, if we take that principle, truth, and we start living by this maxim, this thing that changes not. It's what it is. And we're living by this truth. There shouldn't be any issues with life. Now, remember, every idea that we're speaking about that's divine is always some internal thing. It's always it's always you. Study yourself, and then when you study and then you look for more stuff to study, go study yourself again. And then you go out to study, and then you studied again. And then you got to the end of again, and then you're looking for more stuff. Guess where you're supposed to go? So the truth about our nationality and birthrights, the truth about that, because there's lies about that too. There's lies about nationality and birthrights. The truth is going to be in harmony with divine law. So you'll know that it's your teachings. If we go to the 4 quadrants, right? If you go to the 4 quadrants, that's east, west, north, south. That's equinoxes and solstices. That's all these things that are in harmony with 2s and 4s. If it's in harmony with 2 and 4, then it's in that. Just the 4 quadrants only. Like the truth about it. Not what is assumed. The UN did the research of it to know what the truth of it is. But again, truth is a frequency. Truth is vibes. You know when somebody's lying. You could tell you know when somebody's lying. You're like, yeah, right. That didn't happen. You know. It's very obvious. Right. Absolutely. Because one of the things that that's important when we look at Moorish teachings and other things that are out there, right? Don't ever think that you can't prove this, right? This can be proven. Moorish, whatever the subtitle, right? It can be proven. You just do some research and you'll definitely find it out. So when we're looking for what the truth is, you'll know because it's internal, because you'll feel it, to know that this is the truth. You'll feel love to know what love is. Right? You'll feel peace. You know, there was a C. Free Manel, and he was talking about some street that he used to walk on, and he didn't realize the energy on the street until it actually hit him. And then he walked, and as soon as he turned the corner and got on the street, the energy that was on the street, which was, you know, death and drug dealing and, you know, just madness, the energy of the street hit him. For him to know, okay, you know what? I'm not even going on that street anymore. But now that's divine truth. Now that would have been, or that's divine law, because him saying I'm not going to listen to the energy could have been the stray that he caught, or that could have been the needle he stepped on and went through his shoe or something. Right? To be able to pick up on the energy, to know, oh, hold on a second. You know, they talk about being able to see people's aura, and you're engaging somebody, and you might not see the aura, but you feel the energy coming off them, to know where they're at, to know whether, you know, you should engage or disengage. You know, but we were talking with some of the Moors a couple of weeks ago, just in a building. We were just talking about the Quran and, you know, different chapters, and it's it's great that Nobujuali selected these certain ones, you know, because when you go read the places where he got these lessons, you see that they go all over the place, and he actually really selected specific things out. And when you see the things that you leave, okay, I can see why you leave this out, why we don't need that lesson, versus everything that he picked and put in, you know. So in chapter 10, Jesus spake on the unity of Allah and man to the Hindus. The unity of Allah and man. What does this reveal about the Moorish concept of man's divine origin and purpose? That you're not Negro black colored. Now you can't be one with Allah if you're Negro black colored or some other stateless identification. Like that whole idea, higher self, lower self, that's Allah and man in one. Right? Which side are you choosing? No, you're on the path. Like which thoughts are you clearing out? Which thoughts are you letting stay and hang around and drag you down with them? So man's purpose is to reach deific life, where he and Allah are one. Man's divine origin is beyond this physical shell. But the only way that Allah and man are one is when man doesn't have the physical shell, because man does it in the physical shell. In the physical, it's the testing ground. In the physical, it's the training. It's the rites of passage. When the physical is no more, then man is really one with Allah. When the physical is no more. As long as we have this physical, there's going to be these blockages. You know, the yogi, whoever, that said, yeah, I'm going to go to the top of the mountain and I'm going to meditate on the top. He had to get to the top of the mountain. Now, if you're telling me that he just clicked his heels twice and ended up at the top of the mountain, yogi's onto something. If he had to go climb and all that stuff, almost break his neck and all that to get to the top, then, you know, we're all here for lessons. We're all here for lessons. And man and Allah are going to be one, whether man likes it or not. Whether man accepts it or not, or appreciates it or not, man and Allah are going to be one. I seen this Sri Lankan. He was probably having his alcohol issues and whatever else, just walking around. You know, he came up to me to talk. And he said, I know when I'll be free. When I die, that's when I'll be free. Until then, I'm just going to keep going. Already has it figured out. Right? Or that was his higher self that just came out because it saw a higher self, and then he's gone right back into the lower self after that. You know, because he definitely was you know, an addict of stuff. But he's a heavy whatever the addiction, heavy. And he had enough to know that as he carries on this life of being a drunk or whatever it is that he's addicted to, he knows that at death is when there's no worries anymore. And he's not running to go jump in front of a truck or nothing like that. He's living his life. You know. So I always look at the idea of the unity of Allah and man. I always see it as it's dependent on where the individual is at, right? You know, like he couldn't even speak English properly, but he knew that there's more after death. This isn't it. This can't be it. He's looking toward the freedom after death. Right? And then again, we have this chapter in our book, you know, because we're some of the most grieving people on the planet. So we definitely needed a Ministry of Death chapter because we grieve more than anybody else. Jumping on stuff and all that stuff, you know, we don't know how to deal with death. Right? It's not a slight, you know, just because of the trauma that we've been put under. You know, we don't have this stuff figured out. And it's hard for us to figure it out, which is, again, why a prophet was sent by the great God of the universe to teach us the truth about our nationality, our birthrights, and our true religion and all that stuff so we can start figuring this thing out. And then that goes back again to man's divine purpose, to uplift all humanity, especially if you have this knowledge. especially if you have this knowledge. Not just for you to have, hoard for yourself. So you put others on game so that they know. And again, we'll just go through the chapters and you'll see the lessons in there. You know, it's from chapter 1 to 19, those Jesus lessons, I like those. Those Jesus lessons are hit different for me than the 20 to 48. You know, and I think majority of it has to do with the whole idea of the years of Jesus' life that is missing, and from probably maybe going to church and it making sense, like they have this book and so this is a holy book for them, and okay, well, let me look into this. So we're looking at teens or something, and it was just weird. Like, how come his life's missing? Like, how come this is the man, this is the Son of God, and 18 years they don't have? Like, we all know about him at 12, and then that's it. He just disappears. And again, not until getting to more science, realizing, so they actually stopped talking about certain things. They took certain things out of circulation. And I gravitate to those chapters more for the Jesus lessons. For the self lessons, they go to 20 to 48. In the dark place and need some wisdom, I'm gonna go to the 20 to 48. Because I see that as more personal as far as the learning. But all of it, it's great lessons. It's great lessons for him to handpick these specific lessons and they apply like that. It's an absolute miracle. Like how he figured out which lessons. It's amazing to be part of, to have them, to knowing that they came directly from him for us. Chapter 13. Jesus says, man is not the body nor the soul. He is a spirit and a part of Allah. How does this align with the Moorish understanding of nationality and divine identity? So man is not the body, right? That's similar to man is not the name on the identification. Man is not the SIN number. Man is not the passport. Man is not the instrument that the jurisdictions say, let me see your ID. Right? Man's not that. Man is higher than these instruments that they're using to identify man with. So it is my license is my this, my that, calling it their own. They didn't even create it. They got that stuff in the mail or whatever, and they're just saying it's mine. And that is theirs. And then on it, it says property of somebody else. And they're still saying that it's theirs. So man is not the body nor the soul, but he is a spirit and part of Allah. So all these different things that we look at, again, this external idea, right, is not us. But then when we go internally as well, there's things that's not us. Right? The emotion is not you. Right? The spirit is you. The feelings aren't you. The frustration and the anger, that's not you. Once you know the truth about your nationality and your birthrights, you would see why Noble Juwali said this is divine and it's national. So that you would study self first, divine, get that in order. And then once you get the divine in order, then you could start with the national activity. And then the nationality and birthrights part is now the intricate details. You know, having identification, you know, being in habit. If you're not in habit, you're supporting your own stuff at least. You know, if you don't want to wear the curly toe shoes, you know, if you don't want to wear pantaloons, you know, that you have your Circle 7 on you, or you have your pendant, or you have your pin, you know, have something. You know, regards to your divine position. You know, some of the Moors even still have the silver coin on as a token, a spiritual token, to keep themselves in balance. You know, where people say they're 4-leaf clover or whatever. Moors have that silver coin on them at all times. Having their energy right, with their thoughts being in the right place, because they're guided by the spirit. The soul having a human experience isn't you. The soul just gathering stuff, right? Data collecting, experiencing this physical existence. The spirit is really where it's at. And just like, you know, there's all these different energies out there. There's stuff in a bottle called spirits. That's physical. Why is that called spirits if it's physical? That shouldn't be called spirits, unless that's not really what they're saying that it is that's in there. And again, if you need more, you can just ask the questions. But you know, this is 80. It's 88. Yeah, we're at 88, and there's been no repeat questions yet that somebody didn't get what was being said or whatever. So great questions and great answers. Chapter 15. Jesus goes to the wilderness for self-examination, where he remains 40 days, is subjected to 3 temptations he overcomes, returns to the camps of John, and begins teaching. During self-examination in the wilderness, Jesus overcomes temptation. What lessons can Moorish Americans draw from this about mastering the lower self? As we go to the chapter. And the tempter came and said, "If you be Son of Allah, command these stones to turn to bread." And Jesus said, "Who is it that demandeth a test? It is no sign that one is a son of Allah because he does a miracle. The devils can do mighty things." The devils can do mighty things. Now, when we go to, when we take as we're reading the Quran, right, and then we're relating the lessons in the Quran, and we're going back to the 101 questionnaire, right, and some names of the descendants, devil, beasts, and all that, right? Those things actually being the lower self, not really devil, beast, Satan, and all stuff. It's really lower self we're talking about. Right? So Yahshua knowing, right? Knowing his higher self, knew, because of him being his higher self, the fact that somebody wanted to test him let him know that that was a tempter. Him being in his higher self, right? Who knows? He's been meditating. Remember, he's been in the wilderness 40 days, 40 nights, and all that stuff. So you know, day 1, you're getting warmed up. You know what I mean? Day 25 or something like that, these stuff are going to be trying you. Day 30, they're throwing everything at you and the kitchen sink to try to get you off the square. Right? You're not the man. You've been meditating for 30 days. You're nobody. Turn this stone to bread right now. Let me see if you're really who you say you are. As soon as he got tested, he knew. Right? Knew. And when he knew, that as soon as he knew, test was over. Tempter just kept going on just to try to play around. Right? But tempter was defeated as soon as he got shut down at the door from the test question. Right there, it was over. And again, this is a reoccurring theme, going from your lower self to your higher self. Because on this path, your lower self is going, just like he said in the chapter, the lower self is strong. I'm bound by carnal desires. My lower self is so strong. That's why I'm going for these 40 days and 40 nights. Because I need to figure this stuff out. He didn't sit there and cry about it or whatever like that. He went to work. Right? That's like the that's like the Mamba mentality, blackouts. Right? 2 days after you lost. 2 days after you lost, you're working out. Do you let the sit settle in or nothing like that? Nope. Right to the gym. We lost. What the hell we partying and celebrating for? What we groveling for? Get to work. On this side, the get to work is getting out of your lower self into your higher self immediately. Immediately. The only way it's gonna mean something is when you see the transition. But you have to be putting in the work to see the transition. Right? You have to go through the 40 days and 40 nights and battle the demons. It's all part of the journey. Which is, you're gonna find some treasures on this journey. You're gonna find some boulders and stuff like that. You're gonna find logs across the path and all that. You might have to take your axe out and cut off some branches before you could move this log. You're not gonna sit there and there's a tree stump in the path. What are you gonna do? And then sitting there pouting and all that stuff. You're not doing that. You're gonna get to work. Get this stuff out the way so we can carry on the path. Right? Majority of people. Yep, and yeah, in order to have victory, you have to persevere. You have to have self-discipline. You have to be the one to tell yourself, yes, I'm going to whatever it is that you have to do. There was a thing, I can't remember what it was I was listening to. I think it was either about procrastination or discipline or something. And they were saying, every time you see a task, the response to the task is do it now. You see the book fall off the whatever. Oh no, I'll get it in 5 minutes. Not do it now. It's the little stuff, the little ring coming around the bathtub and all that stuff. Oh no, I'll do it. Not do it now. You see the lint right there that you've been passing for 5 days. You keep seeing that lint. You say, "Oh, I got to vacuum. I got to remember to vacuum. Oh, I'll vacuum tomorrow. Oh, I'm just about to. Let me just do it now." As soon as you see lower self creeping up, playing around, do it now. Immediately get out the lower self. As soon as you receive that intrusive thought that hold on a second, why am I thinking about this right now? Right now, get that thought out here and raise that vibration. Because now they have also, don't forget, because of these devices and all this stuff, they're crazy throwing thoughts at you. Right? It's a thought minefield that none of them are your own right now. Right? And then your next 10 thoughts, there's 10 ads for those 10 thoughts that you just had that you is not yours. Right. What's that last one? Let's see. 30 or 2019, chapter 19. Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana in India, to the Magian priests in Persia. The three wise men speak in praise of the personality of the Nazarene. Jesus appears to the sages in the East and says, "The time has come when all men must be taught the truth." How does this support the mission of Prophet Noble Drew Ali to uplift fallen humanity? Okay, so as the statement says, all men must be taught the truth, right? The fact that they have to be taught that lets you know that they haven't been taught. And why haven't they been taught? Because the ones who were supposed to uplift them didn't uplift them, right? Because after Noble Drew Ali transition, everybody's duty was still to uplift fallen humanity. They started doing all this other stuff. Right? They were supposed to be uplifting fallen humanity still after Noble Drew Ali transition. And remember that in the chapter when it says Jesus appears fully materialized to the Eastern sages, to the Magian priests, the three wise men speak in praise of of the personality of the Nazarene. So even in the first chapters, in the title, they're letting you know. The title of the chapter, they're letting you know that at this point you're talking about the Spirit now. You're talking about the message that he brought. That is what is fully materialized to the Eastern sages at the palace. And then in Persia, he's there with the Magian priest too at the same time. It's not him in the flesh materialized, it's the lessons. Everybody has adopted his teachings now. Going back again to the uplifting fallen humanity. Because once you be these teachings, they are going to carry on to the four corners of the earth. You can't even stop it. Well, the only way you could stop it is if you think that, you can stop it. But we all know that Allah guides this. And us knowing about this today wasn't their plan. So we found the truth. We heard the truth. The truth rang in our ears. And we knew that there was a shepherd. And we said, we're going to follow this shepherd because we're sheep right now. But the bell that this shepherd's ringing, or nationality and birthrights, I never heard this ring before. And through whoever it was that put you on game, let you know about your nationality and birthrights. That was the spirit of Noble Drew Ali. All these years later. You ever wonder how you found out about Noble Drew Ali? How the hell did I find out about this? Right, you called this to you. You attracted this. Right, this just well, one day, the least expected individual came to you and said, "Guess what? Guess what I found out? Guess what I heard? Hey, did you know? You ever heard about?" Think back, bet you. Right. And when you say the spirit of Drew Ali, so that means if you are, on some, before social media or whatever, and you're on MySpace or something, and seen a red flag with a green 5-point star, and ask yourself, why does that say New York and he has that flag up there? What is that? It's all the spirit of Drew Ali doing the work from the soul plane to make sure that the right ones get this, because the wrong ones had this and they didn't do jack with it. So their time's done. Their time's done. They did their best, but no, they're not the Moors. They're not the Moors. They're playing games with what Noble Drew Ali brought. They're playing games with what he brought. The truth about our nationality and our birthrights, the truth that we know now, right? The facts that we've researched, we can actually and factually look at the facts that were researched by ourselves. And as soon as we take it and we introduce it to somebody else for their improvement, you're supporting the mission of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And what they do with it, that's up to them. Whatever they do with it, that's up to them. But you can't say you haven't done your part in uplifting fallen humanity, because you see them falling. And again, some they might not be, break down some lessons of it might be somebody needs some shoes. And then you go buy them some shoes or something. Somebody needs a meal. Somebody needs that door held for them. Somebody needs help down the stairs. Uplifting fallen humanity has many, many facets. And don't be limited in your uplifting fallen humanity. Be unlimited. Uplift fallen humanity any way that you can. Especially if you see nobody else doing it. All right. Will, you got your questions answered? If not, just send more emails. You already know. We're here for you. Honors to all the Moors in the chat. And don't forget, Canaanlandguide@gmail.com. You could send your You can send your donations for the ball camp, Canaanland@gmail.com via PayPal. Honors to those who stay supporting. Supreme honors. We're starting up in August. In August, it's going down. Or it's going up. And don't forget Moorish Museum tours going on right now. We have probably about a 40-minute tour. History of, Canaanland, history of Noble Drew Ali, Washita, the Masonic connection, Moorish hip hop, and more. More worldwide culture. These Moors, worldwide culture. So you can book your tours, same email, canaanlandguide@gmail.com. 11 to 6 every day Eastern time for the month of July. And don't forget, rvbaypublications.com. Every Wednesday, Mother Rouse has her classes, 7:30. And keep up to date with the Moorish meetup for all the Moors near New York and near New Jersey. Looking for something Moorish to do. RiseOfTheMoors.org. RiseOfTheMoors.org. Oh yeah, this one was pretty wild. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors to Noble Drew Ali, our prophet. Honors to all the Moors staying true to the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Staying true to the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam to all. Love and peace to all the Moors in the chat. Islam.
Done did magic. He done did magic. Look at this. Look at this magic. Black magic. Black magic. Let's be clear.
Don't tell the Moors, Blue.
Barris done did magic. He done did magic. Look at this. Look at this magic. Black magic. Black magic. Let's be clear.
Don't tell the Moors, Blue.